Okay, it's been a very long time since I did a video on the quail, and they're so big now and they're so happy. So we have one male and two females, and he's, as of last week was 6 weeks, and they're officially adults. And so this one right here is a male, and these are two females, and he really wants to mate, and they don't care for it. So they're always running away from him. And before, I had just this little area here for them to live, and there was no divider. Um, and there was no, this was not there, and this was not there. So there's been a lot of changes. So what I've done recently was added this divider, and I've added hallways on both sides for them to run around, and there's a doorway in the middle, and I made a little house they can go into, and then there's an opening right there, and then their water's under there, and then this is like a little bridge area they can jump up. And then over here, there's a sandbox. They love sandbathing, and there's a water tray down there. And the reason why I put a hood on there is it acts as like kind of like a lookout area and a little escape room. As you can see, she's perched right up there. She's looking out, and she likes to sit there. And it also keeps her from walking in the water tray, tipping it and pooping in it and making a mess of it. And just so putting that little hood there, they can reach their head in to drink, but they won't go in there because the hood is really low. So the hood is bent down. And then there's a doorway right there, and I have the doorways up with a with Velcro. And what I've done is when the boy is being really aggressive with the girls and it's late at night and the girls are tired and they're running around trying to get away from him, when he goes into this living space, which has its own water underneath there, there's a little opening there where they can just stick their head in to get water but not get in to tip it. And then there's food, and there's a sand bathing area. What I do is I close off these doors, and that keeps him in here. And then I close this door as well. Close this door. And then I can keep him separate from them so that everybody can rest. Sorry. But for the most part, I leave it open so they can run around and they chase each other. And I almost feel like even though the girls, they try to get away from him, I think it's like a cat and mouse game, because when I close him off, the girls peck at the doors trying to get to him. Almost like, and they call for each other. It's like they miss each other. So, I think it's kind of fun for them. They run around. I'll do a video when they're chasing each other around. It's really funny. They go from door to door to door, and they just go around and around. It's really hilarious. But this grass here is grass I got from the pet store, and it used to be really, really tall grass, but they've eaten a lot of it in the last few days. They love to eat grass. And then what else? Oh, this on top here. This here is tulle that you would use in clothing, like underneath, wedding dress or whatever. It's very, you can see through it very easily. It's very soft and very forgiving. So in a lot of videos and in the comment sections, you'll see people ask, well, how tall does my quail home have to be? And people say, oh, it has to be at least this tall. Your quail will break their neck. That is true. But in this case, this here is 17 inches tall. And this one is, I think it's like 21 inches tall. And they're just boxes from the hardware store. because we're going to build them an atrium, but I wanted them to live in a prototype so that we could figure out kind of what works and what they need before we actually build like a home in the backyard. I want to build them a beautiful atrium. But we need to kind of see how they use this space. But you see how much it's practical? So they can access water from this direction or that direction. There's food here. So if I have to close off the male, he has food and water in a bathing area. And then the girls, so like last night, one girl was in here and she has her own food and water, her own home, little house. And I'll probably put a bathing area in here too. And then over here, another girl stayed over here. She has her own bathing area. She has water, food, grass, you know. And then over here, the boy stayed here for a little bit. And there's food and water underneath here. And then a bathing area. And so everybody was happy. Like, ever since I did this, it's so quiet. Usually at night, you hear them screeching and whatever they're doing, yelling in quail language, and because they're trying to get away from him. But now everybody sleeps quietly, or sometimes it's cute, they call each other. But the other thing I didn't mention was the coolest thing about this whole setup is these two are connected by Velcro. I can get all three of them into this one and transfer them out to the backyard to let them walk around the backyard. And then this thing closes if necessary, but they really don't do the jump flying thing, whatever, that high, or they haven't tried to. So I've seen other videos and I've read a lot of people's comments. People say if you let them out into your yard, they will fly away right away and you'll never see them again. So we let them out for a full day yesterday and nothing. They stayed in a small little section of the backyard. We have a large grassy area. They didn't venture into the grassy area. We have a perimeter around our grassy area that is dirt and different types of plants, and they stayed within like a 10-foot area of that perimeter, and they just dug in the dirt. They dug like little trenches for themselves, and they just like sand bathed or dirt bathed, and they ate things out of the soil, and they were just having a great time, and they were calling for each other out there, and I think it was just calls of happiness, and I hear them doing that in here as well. But anyway, this is our dog May. Hi, May. May loves checking them out. So a lot of times I'll pick her up and I'll let her look in here. I plan to cut out a little window here and put a clear viewing area high enough so that the birds don't see her, but that she can see them, because she's our dog May. She's very loving and nurturing, and I think she's kind of adopted them as part of the family, and she wants to make sure they're okay. So she oftentimes, she's like got her head in here and she wants to see what's going on with them. So anyway, yeah, this is the latest update of the prototype, and we're going to keep improving it. We're going to keep adding things to make their lives better and more natural. But for right now, this is what we have. And we are just taking note of what's working and what could be improved. And we're going to make sure that we give them the best life they can have. So anyway, just wanted to update you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening. Bye.